Hey guys, and welcome back to Content is Profit. Before we get into this episode, which is so special, I know I say this all the time, but this truly is. Don't forget that we still have a couple of spots available for this week and next week for the one-on-one free Clarity Challenge with Fonzi. So go to bistros.co/monetize and put your information in there if you want to gain clarity on your strategy for content. This is a very specific challenge that is 5 days, about 20 minutes a day that you jump on with Fonzi, and it's going to help you put the strategy. I mean, there are people already closing several thousands of dollars from this strategy alone. It obviously depends on your product. It obviously depends on your offer, but will help you get there, and it's completely free. And then the next one, obviously, if you want to be part of a community, you want to come hang out, go to businesscreator.club. We are building this. This is brand new. Every Thursday at 11, we have open Q&A. So if you're still a little unsure, you're like, oh, Luis, I don't know what to go. What I recommend is do both. Go to bistros.co/monetize and then businesscreator.club. All right, on to the episode. I was able to record 3 very raw conversations with creators from our studio. We had a very busy day a couple of days ago where we have almost like 6 back-to-back sessions. So I'm super grateful and blessed. But there were also a mix of creators. You know, we had a couple ladies that are they recorded, I think, like the 12th episode, which puts them at top 10% of podcasters. Fun fact, by the way, if you are past that, you're already in the top 10% because most people drop off. So shout out to Janina and Maria. And then we had Chris and Randall, who are experts in their respective areas of work, and they run this veterans podcast. This is probably like their 3rd podcast that each is running. Like they have like media training. They're in boards of different companies, and they're doing incredible things here in Florida. And they decided to launch this show for veterans and promoting veteran businesses. So, and then the last 2 people, they are first time that they're recording in the studio. It was like literally their first podcast ever to record it. So I want you guys to, I mean, I don't want you. I mean, if you want to listen, go listen. But I would love to share those conversations with you because each one of them has incredible lessons. So with that, let's go into our first conversation. So we're here with Janine and Maria.
Hi.
They just recently started their show, Brains Gone Bald, which is amazing. It's so fun. Every time they're here, I just want to laugh with them.
Or at them.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
No, definitely with them. And, obviously you guys know our story with podcasting and kind of like why we like it so much. But I'm very curious, right? Because this is not like your business podcast.
Right. Quite different.
Yeah,
it's quite different.
Quite different. Yeah. So, like, whose idea was it to start the show?
It was ours, I think. I think we both talked a lot about extending our audience, reaching a new kind of person, right? Instead of just our business people. And in that, we both also listen to podcasts and enjoy listening to others. Plus, we laugh a lot when we're together. And so we've talked about people should be part of this. Right? I mean, I remember having that conversation saying, you know what, people would love this.
Yeah.
We're so funny.
Yeah.
And then I broke my arm trying to pat myself on the back.
Yeah. Well, I think we've both worked in kind of corporate America and very buttoned up kind of environments a lot. And this more fun side of us, we really just wanted to be able to have fun conversations, relatable conversations, and talk about things that people can enjoy and learn from and relate to. I think is really
for sure.
Yeah, we think we have a good dynamic. We'll
you guys
see if
do.
anyone else thinks that. But
You guys do. I mean, right now you guys have what? 3 episodes out? 4 episodes out?
4.
Maybe?
4, yeah.
4 out, like published.
Yeah,
you know?
out. Very
We've got more recorded, but we do have 4 out.
Yeah. So what would you say will be like the biggest like light bulb moment, when people start podcasting, right? For us was immediately we can put thoughts into words and put them out there. And, the people that resonate with us
will come to us.
Yeah. I think the other thing is it's not just, let me get my camera. And I know people do this. Let me get my camera and videotape and then put it out there. There's more involved than just doing that. Mm-hmm. And while we feel like we could talk about almost anything, there is still that moment of figuring out what it is we're going to say and who we're going to say it to and who is our audience.
Yeah.
And then, like we talked about this yesterday, what is the value of what we're saying? We want to make sure that people can find some value in what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No comment.
No comment. No, she said it perfectly fine.
Yeah. So when I say like last question is like what does podcasting mean to you today, right? Like it's a new thing. Mm-hmm. Like when I ask that question, what comes to your mind?
Connection. In all honesty, I feel like it's a way to connect in today's world that we may not otherwise have the ability to do. And I think that a lot of people are looking for people to kind of recognize and see themselves in. And I think podcasting allows for some of that.
Cool.
Yeah, I would say, a little bit more about what I said before as far as reach is concerned. I think it gives us a different audience than the people we normally come in contact with. And we both mentioned that the way we found the podcasts that we listen to is through some of those clips. And it's maybe like, I'm listening to a football podcast right now. Yeah. And I don't watch football, but there was something so interesting and compelling about the discussions that they were having. And it actually makes me feel like I maybe should watch football a little bit. I'm not actually watching, but I think that podcasting, like I said, gives us and gives somebody else the opportunity to hear something about that maybe they wouldn't have. Mm-hmm. And so I love that part of it.
So cool. All right. What's next for you guys? Last one.
Take over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's next? So much. Yeah. I don't even know.
Like, we're just having fun with it right now. We're honestly fun. We're open to whatever happens next. In all honesty, if we stay where we are, which we hope we don't, but I think, we're just kind of riding the new wave of podcasting right now. So
cool.
We sound wishy-washy, that we're just willing to go where the wind blows.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. And we are back. So Janine and Maria, thank you for, having that conversation with me. And there are a couple lessons that I extracted here. Number one is like connection over perfection, right? Even though like this is not a business podcast, the ultimate goal is still a human connection, right? Janine and Maria realize that podcasting allows them to show up authentically, which also builds trust and resonance, even beyond their usual professional audience. The next one that I really like that we extracted from this is content with value always wins. This is no secret. You hear value all the time, right? Like I'm there, even though they have a dynamic and playful show, but they're also intentional about the value of each episode provides. They talk about different topics, but you as a business creator, this is your cue, right? Humor and just being relatable are so powerful. But at the end of the day, they also must serve like your audience and not distract them. That's why I'm a big fan of education business and entertainment business. I think they both fall in different buckets. I know there's a lot of people out there that call it, entertainment. No, not entertainment, valuetainment, I guess. Is that what they do? But they're trying to mix both of them. And I think it falls flat. So I think there's those two buckets. Decide where you want to go and we'll see. And maybe if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. All right, cool. Now let's go to the next conversation with Chris and Randall, right? From the Frontline Visionaries. These two guys, are amazing. They've been coming to the studio for a long time and their concept is incredible. They have each their own shows that they run. Chris is in traditional media as well. And he does radio. Randall is in boards of a bunch of companies. So anyways, these are their thoughts. Well, here's Chris and Randall.
Hey.
They're hosts of Frontline Visionaries here in the studio.
Yes, sir.
They come once every 6 months, which is totally okay. It's fine. But you guys both have been in media for a long time, correct?
Yeah. A couple years. Yeah.
Yeah, a few things. But I want to talk specifically on podcasting really quick. It's like when I say podcasting, what does that mean to you?
Go ahead, Randall.
Sure. Podcasting to me is
is a sit-down opportunity to have a shared discussion with somebody who has some level of subject matter expert criteria to their background, and a way to draw out particular interests and get authoritarian views on whatever it is you're talking about, whether you were an author of a book, whether or not you're an expert in your field. But it's an opportunity to sit down and draw out thoughts and give somebody the opportunity to listen to somebody else's 10,000 hours, is how I like to put it. And understand a topic a little bit better once you get done.
Yeah, sweet. Chris?
Well, ditto on that. And then two, so former military guy, so I'm going to use a quote from Patton. So Patton always said, for every hour that you exercise your body, you should spend 2 to 3 hours exercising your mind. I think, in my opinion, podcasting is a way to enable the exercising of the mind, if you will, because how many times, specifically in the work day or time off, that folks have time to sit down with a book. Now, I read a couple books per month, but I just enjoy reading. Whereas when on my commute to here, when I commute back home, when I'm, at lunch, or if I'm just doing some work and I can have something in the background, can I not exercise my mind, get critical ideas on things that I'm interested in from subject matter experts, and then have that knowledge and be better off as a result of just listening to that form of media? Because that's what it is, right? It's information space. We're taking in media, we're taking in information, and we're gaining knowledge from it.
Yeah. So you guys talk, I think, a little bit on the consumer side.
Yeah.
Like, as podcast hosts, right? You guys run a really cool show with veterans and, business owners and authors.
Yeah.
What are some of the wins I get? Like, what's the benefit, right? Like, regardless of who listens and learns from you guys, is there anything else that you guys see as a positive on podcast?
Well, yeah, I mean, when we came up with the idea of Frontline Visionaries, the idea was to talk about compelling, topics and information that we think the modern day professional wants to know about, whether you're in business, you're in government, you're in the military, nonprofit space. So we want to talk to folks that are subject matter experts that have deep knowledge in certain areas that we think the modern day professional can walk away. We don't want somebody to listen to our podcast, though we want to be entertained. At the end of the day, we don't walk away and go, man, I just learned 2 or 3 things that I did not know before I started listening to that. So our goal is to be engaging. We want, that folks that listen to us, the followership's great. We want to encourage that, but we also want their feedback. And then we take the audience through that experience where they're hearing the things they want to hear.
Yeah, sweet. Tito?
Yes, but even as the host, the positives for me is I've never walked away knowing less than I did when we finished the episode.
100%.
So even if not one person listened, I know that I became a smarter person because we got an opportunity to learn something from somebody who's an expert at what they do.
Yeah. Now, to kind of wrap it up, too, you guys, have been around business for a long time and, are part of boards and very successful entrepreneurs here in Jacksonville, Florida, right? What would you say somebody that is, is in that world, they're entrepreneurs, they might own a business and they're thinking about starting a podcast? Like, what would be like your main advice there?
Good.
My advice would be to do it. I'll be straightforward with it. If you walk into somebody's office with the hopes of trying to get them on the hook to partner with them financially, get them to buy your product, you're in a sales up mentality. Whereas if you come across and say, I'd love to host you on your show, you are given an opportunity to establish yourself as somebody that's trustworthy. You're able to ask thoughtful questions. You're able to engage in their business. You're able to learn things about them and what they do for a living that you otherwise wouldn't just by reading. So I would strongly encourage anybody to start a podcast. That way, when you reach out to people, it's at a peer level and not bottom up.
Cool. Yeah, and then also on the podcast, what's the purpose? What's the outcome? The thing that Randall and I, we discussed what our purpose and what our intended audience should get out of this. There was thought into that. If you're just starting the podcast, though, if it's entertaining and it's fun for you to do, then go for it. But if you're producing something that nobody else wants to listen to, you should probably think about that beforehand. I've been, not pat myself on the back. I've been published in over my life in a couple different magazines and a couple of books. But here's the reality: I never wrote anything that I didn't want to read myself. So, are you producing something that there's no audience for, or not. So kind of consider that, because if it's just something you want to do for fun, and that's great, and it's just you and your mom and your dog are going to listen to it, then that's great if that's what your intended outcome. But if you're trying to get, followership and then gain traction, then you probably should rethink it. And I think I heard somebody smart tell me, if you're going to write a book to make money, you probably shouldn't write a book. If you're creating a podcast just to make money, you probably want to rethink that too.
Awesome.
It's more work than you think. I think that needs to be very important. It's not just coming in and having a conversation. You absolutely have to do some prep work to get the person on the call. But then after the fact, unless you're using somebody as amazing as Luis, you still have to edit. You have to create captions. You have to come up with content posting. You have to do a lot of things in post-production. So I still encourage you to do it, but I don't want you to go into it thinking it's an easy endeavor.
Yeah.
Sweet, guys. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Welcome back. So there's a couple of lessons that they share that I really resonate with, right? And number one, obviously, we talk about this on the show multiple times, is podcasting builds authority, right? Not just the attention. For them, they use podcasting as a strategic platform. And I think you can also take the lessons not only for podcasting, but for any content that you collaborate, whether that's like a YouTube channel, Instagram lives. We've talked about this with Pipeline Platform for a long time, where you can elevate, conversations and your guests as well, and put yourself next to them if you feel like maybe they're level A and you might be a level B, right? They basically emphasize how hosting somebody creates that peer level relationship, and traditional relationships might not be able to get you there, right? So they see an incredible value, especially because they're building big networks and with people super important. So they just bring them there, and they build that relationship, whether that becomes a business relationship or a personal, relationship. I think they both win. So I agree 100% with that. That's how we run Content is Profit. That's how we were able to build our business and create incredible relationship in our industry. So maybe give it a try, right? The other thing that Chris mentioned that, it was really, really interesting, and maybe for me was a little bit of a friction point. I'll explain why, is don't wing it, design it, right? Like if you're just recording to hear yourself talk, you might be missing the point. So his advice is to build with purpose, plan your content, and treat your audience attention like it matters, because it does. Now, I agree, but I disagree at the same time, right? Obviously, they're very calculated on how they wanted to approach this show. And I think part of it is because they both have also different shows on other areas, and it allowed them to find their voice. But as somebody that runs the studio and somebody that deals with a lot of people that might be starting out, I think there is a world where there is podcast zero, meaning there is a podcast before your podcast, or there is content before your content. And I think that's like really interesting and valuable, because you need to put in the reps, right? A lot of the people that they come through our doors, that they're in Business Creator Club, which, by the way, you can come join the community Business Creator Club, not only for beginners, but for people in all areas. We have resources in there, but we tend to see a lot of people that might be starting with it, right? And they might think that that's the last piece of content or the last platform that they're going to ever create. And it turns out that is the pre-platform that they're going to create. I've seen so many shows evolve. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with, just recording and hear yourself talk. Like, put it out there. People are going to listen to it, but be open to the next. And here's the interesting thing and fun thing that happen is, like, when you start finding your voice, you will see the opportunity. And then the next show or the next platform or the next YouTube channel will be way easier to design, and then that way to plan and move forward. I'll give you an example, right? I've been trying to get, a personal channel going as a hobby. There's no business plan behind it. This is just me just itching my creative, my creative bug. And I started by gaming and showcasing my gaming that I suck. I've been playing Fortnite, and part of it is because my kids love to watch it, right? I was like, might as well watch me play instead of some other streamer. So I've been building a great relationship there. But guess what? That has been the channel that we've managed that has grown the furthest. And I've tried with that channel to create different different shows, different styles of content. And that was the one that, got me unstuck. But it's not the last one. Tomorrow we're heading to one of the Orlando parks in a very special adventure with them. And I might try some vlogging and, stay tuned for the next episode so you can hear my thoughts on it. I'm terrified. But again, I'm initially winging it, but at the same time, it's helping me grab that information to design it. So thank you, Chris. Agree to disagree, maybe. All right, here we go to conversation number 3. We got Natalie and we got Angela here.
Hello. Hi.
To be fair, I met Angela first.
Yes.
And we chatted for like 2 hours.
Yes.
So, Natalie, welcome to the club.
Thank you. Nice
but, tell us about your show. Today, you guys recorded the first episode.
We did.
In Session with Nat News.
Yeah, it's called In Session with Nat and Ange.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what inspired you to do this? Like, when I say podcasting, what does that mean to you?
I think it's like a platform to share your lived in experience and a platform to kind of allow the world to hear your thoughts and opinions. Because I feel like in this day and age, sometimes it's frowned upon to give an opinion. So I think it's a cool way to express yourself.
Yeah. And with that being said, to piggyback off Nat, it's also, I think, a great platform to educate.
Yeah.
And
educate is
normalize a lot of, for us specifically, our podcast In Session is about, we're mental health therapists.
Okay.
Almost. We're registered interns.
We're working at it.
We're working at it.
Cool.
So our platform is really to talk about mental health, destigmatize a lot of things that are stigmatized in our culture and our society. We're also Arab American women, so that adds a huge layer to things. And so creating a platform for our people too, to have some sort of guide and reference to go to when we're mental health, where do I go? I don't want people to know I'm seeking a therapist because that exists. So it's hopefully this is a little bit of that, okay, well, Nat and Ange have given me some resources I can go seek, or some guidance, or started a conversation about, things that I'm experiencing as well.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So today, first experience podcasting, you guys consume podcasts, but for newer creators, right? We have a community called Business Creator Club, and they're trying to, get the ball rolling. What will you tell them, full honesty, full transparency? Was this hard? Was it? Yeah.
I think I would tell them faith over fear, because just believe in yourself, do what you need to do, and don't let the world, what's the word, debilitate you? Is that a word?
Yeah, or de-influence you.
De-influence you from speaking your truth and just living in your true your truest self, living your truest self without fear of judgment, without fear of anything. Living your faith.
Cool.
I agree. I think we were trying to prepare as much as we could in our minds, but I think when we got in here and we're so nervous about how this is going to go, are we going to be able to just flow off of each other? And then you gave us such great advice when you said be natural and just be yourselves. And that's literally what ended up happening. And we ended up having the best time. I was just telling Nat, now I'm excited for filming the next one, because I'm just wow, that was actually so much fun. Yes, of course, we were talking about some serious stuff at moments, but at the same time we were being ourselves. We're having a conversation, and you guys made this so easy for us. All we have to do is sit here and talk.
I know.
You set everything else up, which is amazing. Thank you so much. But yeah, I would say biggest piece of advice is the advice we got is just be yourself. Try to be as natural as possible, and just have a conversation. Pretend there's no cameras, no lights.
Pretend as in we have
as in
1, 2, 3, yeah.
Nothing is here. Pretend it's not there. You're just talking to a friend.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Of course. Thank you.
We are back. So a couple pointers here that I really enjoy from having a conversation with them, and not only that little piece that you saw, but we met an hour before that, and we had a great conversation. And when Angela came in and they wanted to launch their show, you could tell she was really nervous. She's been researching a ton, and props to them, and honestly, it's going to be a really cool show. Our team is in the process of editing it, but I think it's going to be really good. So one of the things here is lead with purpose, right? Even if you're nervous, they lean into their discomfort of starting something new. Why? Because they have this massive, mission and vision for like what they want to, achieve. It is so much bigger than their fear. And they were telling me like there's cultural reasons, there's, family reasons, there's so many ways or so many things that could stop them from creating. And even though that was their what they consider their purpose of what they're meant to do in this, environment and life to help people is bigger than theirs. So that will shine and create the clarity to outweigh the fear of imperfection, which was one of, the things that they mentioned, And then the other one, which I think, I guess I'll take a little credit for this because I don't think I'm as authentic as it can be, or I try to be, at least on this podcast. We'll see with the other type of content, but for them, authenticity beats strategy. And we'll put an asterisk in here where it says, when you're starting out is massive, and then it will get you going. It will get the content consistent and frequent, which is what you need initially. And then from there, you can like layer different parts of strategy on top of that authenticity. A good example is right now we have 7 and 8 figure customer that they've been publishing for so long. One of the biggest podcasts in the industry. And they came to us because they've been so authentic. They've gotten incredible results, but now they're looking for the strategy piece. They're looking for, okay, how can we, dial this in? And I think that's perfect. I think you can go so far by being authentic, on talking about things that people are interested in, that we can't dismiss that part, right? But, for them, the biggest breakthrough came from just being themselves. Like literally, as soon as they sat down, I was like, hey, let's do a practice round. Let's just, turn off the cameras. And I asked them a couple questions and they went for it. And then secretly, we turned them on and they continue to talk, and a really good content came out, just having a conversation. That's why I think also, side note here, having a co-host is super helpful because you can bounce off each other. You can have that conversation, have a couple of questions that you can ask each other, and that will get you going. So for new business creators, this is massive. This is gold. This is golden boulders. Your first job is not to be perfect. Sorry, Chris. No, I'm kidding. But it's to be real and build that trust. All right. So to close out the episode, we've been talking about a bunch of takeaways on this ones. And by the way, shout out to all the shows. They're incredible. Go find them out. We're going to put the links right below for the ones that are available at the moment. And then, I guess there's a big takeaway from all of the conversation, podcasting or content in general. I think like this applies to every single piece of content. It's not just a marketing channel, right? It is definitely a movement builder. A lot of people are talking today about building brands, building your own personal brand. And I see a lot of platforms that people start just by being authentic and something interesting to say that people want to listen to, and people come and they gather around that cause. So it's a movement builder, whether you're here to grow your audience or close deals and sell or, shift mindsets, real connection, clear purpose, and consistent value are all the levers that move that needle. Let's repeat that. Connection, clear purpose, and consistent value are the levers that move the handle. Just recently I saw a video from Gary Vee, like almost like screaming to this lady that she was like terrified to go back online because, she was very consistent. She was very professional, all this stuff. And she's like, oh my gosh, how do I get back? Like strategically, how do I, do this? And he's like, just be real. Just grab that camera and be like, I am back. I'm ready to go back again into this. And she's like, now? Just like, yeah, now grab your phone and do it right now. So if you are doubting, go do that. Tomorrow I'm going to take that advice and I'm going to go and I'm going to do my best to vlog my experience with my kids. we'll see how that turns out. I'll tell you on the next episode. So go ahead, hit record, and let the world hear what only you can say, baby. Let's go. Don't forget, if you made it here, thank you so much. And don't forget that we're still running the challenge, 101 challenge. Go to bizres.co/monetize if you want to gain the clarity. And go to businesscreator.club if you're looking for a community and a place to find resources, have fun, experiment, and come to, Q&As, open Q&A questions with us and the team. And we have a blast. With that said, guys, thank you so much. And we'll see you on the next episode.